All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Colman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. And yes, in this show, we will be talking about the book, the Bible that is the book, an Amazon #1 bestseller, and always will be an Amazon #1 bestseller. Can you credit that? If you're listening to me on this show for the 2.5 years of content, come close. It likes a 3. You know, this was in the pipeline a long time. Even before the podcast started, from if memory serves me right. And what we're going to do in this show is go through a couple of different sections, and importantly, the gut health section. And that's why I'm so big on food, because the foods you eat have a massive effect on the likes of your the way you look, you feel, and how much energy levels you have. If you're not eating the likes of complex carbohydrates, which are the body's first source of energy, you can run on the likes of fats. For the most part, people are not doing that. And people are eating takeaways and then going, do you know what I'll do? I'll end up trying ketosis, because that helped Sally and that helped Pat. They both lost weight in the, I suppose, keto phase. But really and truly, it's for more so athletes who are looking for long-term endurance, to have unlimited energy levels, and it's not for the general public. Why? There's no biscuits, no cakes, no organic oats, no potatoes, which are organic fitness food, on page 82 of the book. Scroll over to that page if you haven't. This is now turned to like maths. And now we shall read from the column 82. Organic potatoes are a simple single ingredient food that I do recommend people to eat. So we're going to most certainly go towards, for anyone that has the book or anyone that doesn't have the book, this will definitely supposed to be a teaser for people who are looking to improve their overall health, because gut health is linked with what your immune system, 70% of it located there, really helps with people having increased energy levels. Why? Because more vitamins and minerals are broken down from the beneficial microorganisms in your stomach. So you inevitably are going to have more energy levels to help you to do your exercises, which minimum requirement is 10,000 steps. Typically then I upgrade people to home workouts with the likes of some added weights for added advantages. So you can, suppose, help yourself with a finisher towards the end, tapping into those stubborn fat stores, so you can inevitably look better, feel better, which the majority of people are looking for in general. So in relation to, we're going to page 43, gut health. So 43 is talking about the 6 signs of an unhealthy gut. So first of which is making sounds like out of space extraterrestrials, and what that's typically down to is foods that you are not able to digest correctly. And I will be doing an audio book of this version, so I'll just slightly start off with the gut health. The gut starts at the mouth, traveling south of the esophagus, then the stomach, and in the small intestine, and finally the large intestine, also known as the colon. If your gut health is not what it should be, this affects the whole body. So in this chapter, I'll explain the poor gut health and the signs and ways to, so you can improve it. More details on my YouTube channel. It's quite funny. You're reading my book out. Gut health has become a popular topic over the last 20 years. Studies have linked gut health with improved immune system, nervous system, and skin health. Why? Because it's a large organ in your body. Actually, much prefer doing this. It's great. Skin health, mood, and mental health. Why? Because 90% of your serotonin is produced there. And the avoidance of weight gain and chronic diseases. In other words, overall health and well-being is linked to your gut health. When you are told that you should go with your gut, it's for a very good reason. There are a tremendous number of microorganisms inside you, trillions of them to be exact, and others are found in the surface of the various parts of the body, such as your skin, the microorganisms, the microorganisms also known as, maybe we should do a full sneeze, so it's just done and dusted. I'm going to tell you, there's no editing on this podcast. There are a tremendous number of microorganisms inside you, trillions of them to be exact, and others are found in the surface, various parts of your body, such as your skin. Just expand on this point now, because I can do this, because I wanted to put, I had literally so much more to give. No, I had no more to give. I had so much more to say in relation to the topic of health And one of the reasons why I want more people to go outside is because of the wind, because that is something that carries microorganisms. And I suppose having short sleeves, don't be wrapping up top to toe, covering everything but your face, because the more, I suppose, beneficial microorganisms, as I said, are located on your skin, the better it is for your overall health. So for a period of time, have skin in the game, get outside, get moving, and get healthy. And that's why I do grounding. More beneficial, different diverse areas that I go to, whether it be the bog, whether it be the beach, the bog or the beach, and or anything else in between, your grass, outside your back garden, your front garden, your side, anywhere at all. So that's why I do recommend grounding on a regular basis. It's something we used to do as children, completely lost touch of what healthy is. And do you remember when we were kids, we used to laugh uncontrollably, whether you were at someone's house for a sleepover or you were just, I suppose, talking, and it could end up just laughing about something that actually wasn't even that funny. And a high percentage of that would have been down to you being outside and being, I suppose, carefree and not being wrapped up in cotton wool and going from the bed to the kitchen to the coffee machine maker, the kettle, to the car, to the office, back to the car, back to the house, inside, couch, television, bed. We're just, I suppose, totally after changing our lifestyle. And that's what's important, a lifestyle that makes you healthy. Let's get back to the book. On page 42. The microorganisms, also known as microbiota, are tiny, so they make up, for their lack of size, by their sheer numbers. If they were weighed, your entire microorganisms population, as it would be as heavy as your brain, totaling 1 kg, 2 to 3 pounds. Microorganisms are affected by the surroundings, which is why if you sit at a desk for 8 hours, you need to get outside. A high percentage of the microorganisms are located in the largest organ in your body, the skin. So exposing your skin to air gives you more diversity. Good reason for that Sunday hiking shorts and a t-shirt. I had to wear a short, I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. And it's Sunday. God, it's not Sunday. It's Thursday. Beneficial microorganisms. I'm definitely going outside. Beneficial microorganisms travel in the wind, and they're deposited on leaves or tiny living material, which means that the living material in nature that improves your health inside and out with every breath you take and bites you eat. Another large percentage of the tiny little guys live in the food that we eat, which I'm going to write about in this next section. Oh, I do love healthiness. So, signs of an unhealthy gut. An unhealthy gut can be caused by the results of food intolerances, chronic stress, bloating, very common in individuals that I'm currently training on the online nutrition and training program right now. Eating highly processed foods, please cut it out. Constant fatigue, regularly tired, and poor sleep. Food intolerances are the result of certain food causes unpleasant symptoms such as rashes, blushing of the skin, bloating, gas, stomach pain, diarrhea, and nausea. Food intolerances is not the same as food allergies, although they have some of the same symptoms. So it is important to speak to a doctor if you suspect that you have a food intolerance. Determining which food you are intolerant of is difficult, but it can be done with an elimination diet. This is where you progressively remove common foods that may cause bloating, dairy, legumes, bloating. Dairy, legumes, beans, excessive meats, and even some vegetables. Keep a food diary and look for a pattern. Best still, work with practitioner. I'm going to guess that's that word. Next page. Reveal is qualified practitioner, trained nutritionist, or prevent nutritional deficiencies during this process. Chronic stress is the next one. So we have a certain amount of stress in our lives, but when it builds up, it can lead to chronic stress. Chronic stress is hard on the whole body, including your gut. It's important to eliminate stress, but reducing it is vital. Key, important, start reducing stress. High antioxidant foods. Do that. See, I'm just speaking off the cuff there. I must prefer to speak. Here are some of the ways I deal with stress. Walking, minimum requirement. Sunlight, here we go, satellite radio. Bathing in Epsom salts. I don't have a bath right now, but when I do go home, I dive into it head first. No, I don't. Bath's too small. Love heart shaped, nearly pink in color. No, it's not. I want one of those. I want one of my own big, massive house. I want a big, massive house. You wouldn't know. Stay tuned. Eating high magnesium foods such as green beans, legumes, cacao, organic, of course. I love cacao. It's so good. Organic, of course, produces more antioxidants, which increase blood flow and reduce stress, which we all want, really and truly. So reduce phone time. Yeah, phone time causes stress. Why? Because we're constantly looking and comparing ourselves to lovely Sally, who has a flat stomach, who has no kids and has no stress, has all our meals cooked for us, and we're looking at it going, Jesus, how do we do that? The thing is, you do your best and you're looking for an improvement. Stop comparing yourself to people on social media, inclusive of me. Grounding and stretching with deep nasal breathing. I would have been outside this morning. Tick that box if you haven't as of today. Get out there. Start attacking your days. Training, the temporary training. This is how you reduce stress. Chronic stress. This is what I do. My percentage of my training is based off trying to reduce stress, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, which I do enjoy also, because a high percentage of my day is contacting or being in contact with people. And for the most part, then I get to sweat it out and often make loud noises and shout when doing my training. Can't help the neighbors. And yeah, so this temporary increase. So training just temporarily increases stress, but making you more relaxed afterwards. And this is one of the reasons why you sleep better after exercise. All right. All of these things are a knock-on effect and do have a knock-on effect to health benefits. For example, when you improve your food choices, you increase your energy levels. When you have more energy, it's much more likely you're much more ready to train. These are all simple things to incorporate into your day. It's easy to say, I don't have time, but it's really, you don't have time. You don't have time to stress. You also are likely have time to plan out. I butchered that already. So for doing the audible, I would have to go back. It's easy to say I don't have time, but if you really don't, then you don't have a stress issue. You more likely have a time management issue. All right. Make some of these fit your day. Be as healthy as you possibly can. So bloating is the next one in relation to poor gut health and signs of it. You wouldn't believe how common bloating is. Chewing your food is the first process of digestion. You need to chew your food more often. And this is something that me, you, everybody is not doing enough of. We should be chewing it 30 times, minimum 30. So next time you put something in your mouth, if you're on the go in the car right now, you have it, something you're chewing, count 30. That's how much we should be. It's recommended. With the gnashers, you can actually improve your jawline. Jawline is quite attractive in both a male and a female. So a stronger jawline comes from the likes of exercising your jaw. I had this in the book, had to take out some of it. So if you're looking for a more attractive physical features in your face, is one of the first things people look at. Most certainly chew foods that need chewing. And what needs chewing? Solid, single ingredient foods. Fruits, vegetables, that's why I recommend a salad type lunch with the likes of most certainly anything that gives you a crunch. Celery, a winner. Beetroot, broccoli, kale, and keep it sauteed, but lightly, just lightly. And or those dark leafy greens. And soon a rocket. Going to be coming into season around September. Stay tuned for those. I do love those because why they have the antioxidant sulforaphane, which is extremely powerful and can prevent chronic illnesses. There are studies and references at the back of the book that will most certainly help people and get closer to peer-reviewed documents, which I had to update and which was extremely difficult at the time writing this book. But I'm so glad that it's out there now. It's done. It's like a big, massive project. In fact, it's like a thesis, and it's great to have it done. And this is actually the physical book. So when I became an Amazon #1 bestseller, this is the book that I had in my hands, because I know firstly by the smudges before I even opened the front page, but also the fact that it is, and I signed it on the day that it became an Amazon #1 bestseller. Could you chalk that down? I love this. I love these podcasts. Thanks you guys for listening. I'll be a massive mic here, and The more I do this, the more I kind of go, I could definitely do radio. Hi, this is Colman Power. Welcome to Colman Power Powers radio station on 1 to 2 to 2 to 1 to 1 to 2 over to you. Yeah. Hope you like that song. And that was Katie Taylor, who sang Black Velvet Band after she won the gold medal at the Olympics. Just made that up on the spot. That could have been anybody, anything. Katie Taylor's an Irish boxer, for those of you listening in America. She's pretty damn good. Brave woman. She's a topper. Major fan. So we'll get back to the book. So it's also increasing signals to the brain when we chew. More satiating hormone. Here we go now. It also increases signals to the brain of the satiety hormone, leptin, okay, which tells you that you're eating enough and prevents you from overeating. That's why I recommend chewing, slow down and having your meals. Think of it like this. When we don't start off the digestion process, we're playing catch up for the rest of the day. Chew the foods is the general goal there. Put down the fork or even use a smaller utensil. Did I say that in this manner? Yeah, I did. So put down the fork between bites. You wouldn't believe how helpful that is. Whether you're eating with family members, take a bite with a fork, put it down, chew, have a little conversation, listen to somebody else do the talking. Count the number of times you chew and see how many times you do. Eat with a small spoon. This is what I do on a regular basis. And it's what I recommend. Why? Because it's a smaller utensil, so you can't put as much in your mouth. And again, put down the utensil in the period of time where you're chewing what food have entered and what food has entered your mouth. When you practice these methods, you will soon feel that you've eaten enough. So it's not only chewing your foods, though, helps reduce bloating. It's also a top weight loss tip. Would you like those apples? Make sure they're organic. Highly processed foods. So by now, I'm sure you're aware that the processed foods are not recommended by myself. There's so many reasons for this, but the one is relevant here is processed foods are typically soft cakes, buns, cheeses, cakes, etc., and therefore require little chewing. Anything that doesn't take a lot of effort to chew has less fiber. General rule, there we go, chop it down. Refined breakfast cereals, sugar-filled biscuits, cakes, desserts, also have been linked with increased inflammation, which is stress in the body. We don't want any more goddamn stress, right? I'm doing the Audible book, and I hope I'll be able to do it like this. We'll see. Processed foods are also more often than not loaded with sugar, added sugar. No, eat sugar in fruits, which increase the amount of good gut bacteria and increase the bad bacteria. This imbalance can also lead to increased sugar cravings, which can damage your gut. High amounts of refined sugar, particularly high fructose corn syrup, are typically found in sweetened yogurt. Yogurt, this is an important one, right? Because I used to eat yogurts, and I used to eat, when I started off, I suppose, training, I was eating practically sugar, and there was very little protein in it. And that's two things people are not eating enough of. Firstly, then it was the dairy. A lot of the lactose caused me to have a lot of sinus issues. I still had eczema at that period of time, because my gut was quite leaky and wasn't as good as what it is here today, eating these single ingredient best foods I can possibly get my hands on and all grow. I was eating it. I'm allowed to say it, yeah. I was eating Uncle yogurts. They're full of sugar. You can get the natural one, but I sure as hell wasn't doing that. I'm now getting organic ones and wouldn't most certainly recommend anything else, because they're grown without the likes of harsh chemicals, especially if they're soya. And then if you're eating dairy, they're free from antibiotics, and as well as that, the animals are free roaming and most certainly have higher omega-3, which is an anti-inflammatory, reduces stress on the likes of your body. So that's one tip for people that I get them to most certainly do, whether they've read the book or they're training with me. Yogurts is adding into it. It's an easy, simple way of getting in complete protein. It's a snack on the go. If you get berries that are in season right now, red crunch, black crunch, boom, raspberries, strawberries, put them in. There's your sweet. Add in some cinnamon. You got nuts in a shop, which does the 3 ingredients you can pretty much get absolutely anywhere, on the move, on the go, and I recommend it. Why? Because that's exactly what I do. I'm telling people to do the simple things on a regular basis. I'm telling people to go and exercise and move, walking outside in the morning, training, get it done, focusing on the foods. Then all you have to do after that then is be consistent. Stop doing the things that are not helpful. Stop eating the takeaways. Stop going out drinking. Stop doing the complete opposite to what you're actually looking to achieve. And that only happens when you get yourself, I'm pointing back towards myself, a goals board. Really important. Get clear on what you want and start working towards it today. So that was pretty much our latest episode of the Colman Power Organic Fitness Podcast, talking on all things gut health. And I suppose to wrap up with the next, I suppose, things that are coming up in the near future. We have the Organic Fitness Retreat down in County Mayo, over in County Mayo. So that is the next point of which. So that date for the retreat is on the 26th, and that is at an absolute idyllic location. It's in Annam-Cree. And if anyone's looking to go to that, it is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So typically Friday evening, so people don't have to take the Friday off. Your meals are all inclusive of that, your accommodation as well, and all activities. Anybody who's ever went, and I'm not just saying this, you can also get reviews on their website, has said one of the things that literally has connected them with like-minded people. It's changed their life and their mindset towards food and activity that they do outside of work. And some people have actually changed careers as of it. And people have traveled from America, people have traveled from the UK and like Scotland. That's why I absolutely love social media. I'm super grateful for those people for coming and delighted to have more and connect with more people and have an absolute ball. And there is crack and there's fun in abundance at these events. So I hope to see you there at the next one. So give me a DM or contact either Cara, the nutritionist, Joe Maloney, and or Kaz, the yoga teacher, and we get you booked in. Next thing is the Grow Your Own course that we've just finished, the latest one. Absolute baller. It was unreal. Up in Kildare at Featherfield Farm. Do Grow Your Own class up there. So if anyone is most certainly looking to gain the advantage of a little bit of home growing, stay tuned for the next date on that, and or send me a DM. We'll book you in. The last one was completely booked out, and I was delighted to say it was extremely enjoyable the way the weather came around. Sun, pissed rain. We were in the polytunnel, came out, went for lunch, pissed rain again, went back in, polytunnel, and rain again. That's how you do it. Organic fitness style. I know the weather, I'm noting it every day. All right, stay tuned, stay classy, keep it organic, and get on that good stuff. Amazon #1 bestseller. Drop it down.